Are you committing these business sins? I'd bet you are. I'm Kevin Davis from Detailer's Helper. We'll be discussing that today. Hey guys, Kevin Davis here from Detailer's Helper, and today I want to talk about some sins. Not the way you might think, but business sins. We're going to use the 7 deadly sins as a basis for this discussion. I was on the treadmill the other day and this sort of just came to me. I was thinking about 7 deadly sins. I'm not a Catholic, but I was thinking about the 7 deadly sins and how it works and what they are and all that stuff, and how it relates to detailing, because I think that these actually identify a good bit of what's going on with most of our businesses and how we can improve if we sort of avoid these things and we look to solve our sinful behavior in business. So let's get started. So the 7 deadly sins are, and I have my list up here to the left, but lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. And what you'll find is some of those are sort of related, but they're manifested in a little bit of a different way. Before I keep going, I wanted to let you know that I am not in my current office. I'm actually in Reno, Nevada. My wife is doing some training for this upcoming rally. Just texted me that she broke a sway bar and part of her cooling system while on the trail, so that's pretty exciting. So that's why I'm here in our motorhome in Reno. And just wanted to tell you about that in case you're wondering where is he? So that's where I'm at. But anyway, so we'll talk about lust first. So lust, we all are familiar with lust. It's basically an intense longing for something that you don't currently have, and sometimes it's more in a technical or a sexual context, but not always. Lust can actually be over any material possession whatsoever. And so here's how it manifests itself in the detailing business or in business in general. And you'll see this all the time on Facebook. So basically, we're hanging out on social media and the forums, and we're all day long wishing for that next big car. Why can't I do all the exotics like these guys do? Why don't I have the 40 car collections, all of that stuff? But it's literally wasting your time by looking lustfully at someone else's business, someone else's life, someone else's situation, someone else's car, wife, whatever it happens to be. But in business standpoint, it's basically wasting your time because you're just looking at someone else's product or property and or business lustfully. All right, so next one is gluttony. This one's a big one. Overconsumption to the point of waste. When it comes to business, especially with those of us that are on social media a lot, on the forums, that's one way that we can be gluttonous, and basically you're consuming social media content, and that includes other people's opinions, things that are going on, drama. That's a huge one. Hate and love for one company over another company, all the crap that we deal with on social media. So that's one way we can be gluttonous, and that really wastes a ton of time, and it's just not productive. If you're consuming all of that information, that's using up energy that you could be spending actually contributing to your business, and instead of consuming, you're producing, which is a much better method for growing your business. The other way we can be gluttonous is actually just consuming product. One of the big problems we have in detailing and a lot of other industries, but I see it most in detailing, especially with businesses, is every single time something new comes out, whether it's a new product, a new polish, a new coating, a new tool belt, whatever it happens to be, we don't even think about it. We just get more. So you look at some of these detailers' shelves, especially in their business, and mine included. I've got this issue as well. It's filled with tons of different products, tons of different company stuff, all of which could be good, could be bad, could work really well for their business, could only be used once in a while. But the problem is that we just consume these products to the point of waste, which means that this stuff sits on the shelf. It either goes bad. I've got some old polish that literally is just liquid now. It's separated from its base, and it's just worthless. I have to throw it away. So that's to the point of waste. So my suggestion is, if you want to try stuff, buy it in small quantities. Don't believe all the hypes out there. Try it, see what it does for your business. And this is a very important point. Don't waste time or money on products that don't do what they say they're doing or don't forward your business. So example, stuff like carts and even Detailer's Helper. I will throw out a plug here, but I believe that it's a tool that once in your arsenal, it can actually save you time and make you money. And I think that our customers would agree. If that weren't the case and you bought it, it would be a complete waste of money. Same thing goes for any polishes. If polishes actually slow your process down, require you to take more time, then it's a waste. Machines are the same way. There's a lot of guys out there that get started with cheap Harbor Freight, which is nothing, polisher. There's nothing wrong with those. But if you can afford one and or can save up for one, it makes a lot more sense to buy one of the better tools so that you can actually be more efficient. That's just a better way of consuming these products, using them, and then getting rid of the stuff that doesn't work. You don't necessarily have to buy every single new polisher on the market, every single new toy on the market, every single new product on the market. So that's gluttony. So after I edited this thing, I realized that I forgot one. I had only done the 6 deadly sins, not 7. I forgot greed, so I'm putting that in here. Greed is basically the pursuit of material possessions in lieu of everything else. And here's how it manifests itself in business. Small business people will often just work all the time, and they talk about, oh, I work 20 hours a day. You see these pictures on Facebook where people are taking pictures of their watches at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever. If you're single and all that may be okay, but I'm going to contend that this greed for and this pursuit of material possessions, whether it be cars, money, houses, business success, whatever it happens to be, is not sustainable long term, and it doesn't make for a happy life. I've been doing some reading, doing some studying on this book called The One Thing, and it basically talks about doing one thing really well. And one of the things it points out is that this whole life balance thing is a marketing term that was done in the 80s and 90s that is basically BS. You can't ultimately be in balance all the time. In order to do your life, you have to be out of balance, but selectively out of balance. So this is where you can combat greed. So instead of working and pursuing these material possessions in lieu of relationships and hobbies and outside things and outside fulfillment, then you can actually concentrate on working when it's time to work, and then playing when it's time to play, or playing being something that is other than work. I know a lot of people that just work 16 hours a day. They never say no to anything. 7 days a week, and they say, well, that's just how it needs to be. And sometimes that's true. We've talked about this in other videos, that in some cases for very short periods of time you need to just bust ass and get stuff done. But if it's a chronic issue over and over again, that's what chronic means, that you're constantly not saying no, you have no outside things other than work, then you're a workaholic. You're not being successful, and it's just not sustainable life long. So my suggestion is find a hobby, just like we talked about before with making sure you plan time to do other things. Do that. Put that in the schedule. Cut off your appointment calendar so that you don't take more details. You don't do whatever you need to do for your business. You need to take time for yourself just as diligently and pursue that just as diligently as you would your business stuff. So moving on. Sloth. Well, we all know about sloth, right? It's easy. Basically, sloth means you're indifferent to the duties that you should be doing and being lazy. So it's not necessarily just avoiding work or whatever. It's to the point where you're literally shirking your duties. You're literally not doing anything that you're supposed to do because you're either lazy, you're unmotivated, you're depressed, whatever those things happen to be. But sloth manifests itself in our businesses in such a way that we literally don't do anything to drive our business. And this could even be, even though you're working your ass off, sloth could manifest itself in the point of you avoid stuff like payroll and insurance and marketing and social media marketing and talking to your customers, doing follow-ups on their customers or whatever. And so if you work 12 hours a day, polishing cars, for example, or cleaning cars or whatever, but you're neglecting to do any of those other things that you need to do because of laziness or whatever, then that's still sort of this slothful behavior. So my recommendation, I have to go through this as well. I'm really have a ton of different things on my plate, and I realize that I can be really lazy and slothful in some things. And so I ended up having to make myself an hour by hour schedule, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, but I actually make myself a schedule to do the things I need to do. If you're out detailing all day, one of the things you may have to do is you have to schedule yourself either a half a day, a full day, a morning, evening, whatever. Cut off your schedule for taking detailing appointments. Don't say yes to everybody. So that you can make sure that you get those things happening, you get those things done. And so that way it will help you grow your business, because you don't want to end up working all summer 14 hours a day in your business, and then September comes and you literally have no clients, you have no business to do. Even whether you're in a winter climate or a summer climate or whatever, it still can happen to all of us. You got to grow your business on a daily basis and not be slothful and lazy about it. So wrath, this is an interesting one, because it's and I'm going to move my paper here. It's uncontrolled feelings of anger, rage, and hatred to the point of seeking vengeance. You see this a lot on social media. I think in our industry, there seems to be a lot of drama in our industry, as you've noticed. And there's one thing about sort of being pissed off at somebody, or something happens, or you have haters, or somebody posts something on your wall, says something about your business or whatever. But the problem comes when you're literally trying to become vengeful and you're actually taking steps to try to hurt that other person. This is not only dangerous legally, but it's just a waste of your time. There's no reason for you to spend time and energy being mad, being vengeful, being rageful, whatever it happens to be, at other people for whatever they do. You can't control other people's behavior. I've got friends that end up having some really serious business and personal issues that just can consume them. We recently had a situation where someone stole some content from us, and it really pissed me off, especially because I caught them. They didn't apologize, long story, but I spent a couple of days just being pissed off and wanting to take action against them, wanting to sort of report them to the organization we're dealing with, that whole thing. And it just, a friend of mine just reminded me, dude, don't waste your energy on these people, because it's energy that you are taking away from what you're ultimately trying to do and trying to be successful. So in our detailing businesses, or any business, basically, if you're spending time, so let's say that another company is bad mouthing you and talking badly in your town or whatever. Yeah, you can try to combat that. You can try to go to those customers, explain that you're wrong or whatever. You can try to hurt their business by talking badly about them, but it's just not productive. It's not going to help you. It's not going to do anything for your business. Your energy is better spent doing marketing, building customer relationships, and building your business while ignoring those other people. It doesn't make any sense to spend your energy on them. So that's sort of the wrath part of it. Envy sort of goes along with lust, but it's a little bit different. It can be a sad or resentful desire towards someone else's life or possession. So lust is more of a sort of this intense longing. Envy is more of a high level thing where you just want what the other person has. And in business, this happens a lot because we see people that are, especially on social media, because we know that not all of that is true. Some of it's marketing. Marketing is a great thing. I tell people I'm not an expert, but I play one on YouTube. And so even this kind of stuff can be marketed. I'm going to edit this video a little bit, make it look flashier, make it look more designed, all that kind of stuff. Even though I believe the content is good and the content is helping, you never know what people are doing. Whether, there's that joke where they show somebody washing an exotic little die-cast model and putting it up as this was the exotic they did last week. You can't believe everything you see on the internet, obviously. So when you're envious of someone else's business, you're envious of the cars that they're doing, what they're doing in the industry, some of their contacts, whatever it happens to be. Again, wasting time, wasting energy, seeking after someone else's position. Find out what your skill set is, whether it's just basically a technician type detailer. If that's what it is, just do that. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to own and run a detailing business and hire employees and all that, work towards that. But don't be envious of someone else's job, someone else's position, someone else's customers and cars and planes and whatever it happens to be. From a business standpoint, could also be a personal standpoint. You just like what they have. You want their lifestyle. You want their girlfriend, whatever it happens to be. But envy is literally going to waste your life because you can't always have what they want. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're envious of someone and what they have, and that drives you in the beginning to sort of try to excel and try to meet what they have achieved, that's one thing, but you're not investing your time in the envy part of it. You're investing that time into using that to motivate you to go to the next step. So that's good on that one. Pride. Oh man, we have a big issue with pride in our industry. And so basically, pride says corrupt, selfish behavior, putting desires before people, and willful disregard for one's own failures. So a lot of times we'll see this on social media, picking on social media again in the forums and whatever, but people can be really prideful, and basically they put all of their desires and all of their selfishness above everybody else, including their customers, their peers, the public at large. And it's just not a good way to be. When you're prideful, you are literally ignoring the needs of others. And when we talk about customer service, we talk about connecting with the customer. We talk about serving the customer. Prideful attitudes and prideful behavior is just not going to get there. People will see through the bullshit of being prideful. And so that's just how it's going to be. So you have to make sure that you put that pride aside, that you're not, you can be proud of your work, but not prideful. There's two different things. So if you use marketing, for example, to show 50/50s, to show some of the work that you've done, as long as it meets your market, we've talked about that before. There's nothing prideful about that. That's just good marketing and showing customers what you're capable of. Where it comes into pride is like, I see these posts on Facebook like, we are literally the best company in town. No one else can match us. Everybody thinks we're awesome. We think we're awesome. No one can beat our work. All of that kind of stuff. That is a prideful statement. It's not marketing. It's not good marketing, and people don't like it. People will not serve or not come to you and let you serve them as their customer. They're just not going to. So with that, don't try to talk other companies down, especially on social media and in person and all that. Just talk about what you do well, but in a humble standpoint. It's okay for you to say that we feel like we do a great job. We feel like that we serve our customers well. We let our work show for itself. We have good attitudes. We aren't cocky. We don't put other people down. Those kind of things. That's a way to go about things without being prideful, because everybody knows when you see somebody that's cocky and sort of just has a douchey attitude about stuff, that turns you off. And the same thing goes with our customers. So keep the pride to the minimum, and really just be proud of what you do, but not prideful. So, all right, so we've gone through lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. And so most of those, really, other than pride can be a waste of time too, but most of them, it really just comes down to what you're spending your time and energy on, and how those behaviors can really just waste your time and waste your energy. There's so many things, especially in the day and age of social media and Instagram and Facebook and the forums and the groups and all that kind of stuff. You're literally just spending energy that you don't have if you're working hard. If you're not working hard and you're just playing around on Facebook all day, well, then I guess you need to waste your time, but maybe you need to find another occupation. But these are real time wasters and real business wasters and real opportunity wasters. So my encouragement is that you focus on what you do best. And then you work through that. You try to build a business based on that. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Don't covet other people's possession. There's sort of an old-time biblical word, but don't be envious of people. Don't lust after what they have in their business. Use that as a way to learn. Take what they do well and adapt it for your own purposes. Seek them out. Ask them questions. All of that kind of stuff. And so then people will respect that and come to you as a customer. So I hope that helps. I'm Kevin Davis from Detailer's Helper, doing what I do so that you can do what you do better. If you have not already purchased a Detailer's Helper, I know that you've been envious of other people's belts that they have those. I'm just kidding. But check out www.detailershelper.com. These things are working well. I'm really excited about how they're growing. Just released one for the cleaning industry. So if you have somebody that's in the cleaning industry, let me know, or let them know about the product, cleanershelper.com. And then obviously we have our consumer brands. So appreciate your time. Hope you guys have a great day. Leave a comment, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.